Trump ain't doing nothing. He ain't campaigning. He in court. Why are Biden's numbers slipping? Biden has the ball. He still has the ball. He's had the ball this whole time. He's had the ball for 3.5 years. How is he losing ground? Donald Trump is redefining. He's redefining the coalitions. Now, I called this a couple of months ago. I said, look out. This Donald Trump campaign, this election could be the defining moment for the Democratic Party, if there's going to be a future for the Democratic Party. This is a different thing that's happening, folks, and now the data's in.
Frankly, for the Joe Biden campaign, these numbers are an absolute disaster. The smallest lead is in Arizona for Donald Trump. He's up 6. Look at this, 9 in Georgia, 13 in Nevada. My goodness gracious, my God. That is a huge lead. No Democrat has lost that state since John Kerry lost it back in 2004. How about these Great Lake battleground states? This is something that the Joe Biden campaign can work with. Look, Pennsylvania, Donald Trump up 3, but that's well within the margin of error. Wisconsin, Donald Trump up 1, well within the margin of error. And actually, a Joe Biden lead well within the margin of error, up a point here. This they can work with the Joe Biden campaign. This, the Donald Trump campaign, absolutely loves, and it looks like a lot of the other polling on the Sun Belt battlegrounds.
When you're looking into the numbers, why do you think Biden is doing better in the Great Lakes and Trump is doing so much better in the Sun Belt?
Yeah, the Trump coalition is changing. That's basically what's cooking here. This is at least one of the big reasons why. So this is among likely voters in all these battleground states we just spoke about. Back in 2020, 84% of the Trump campaigns, the Trump coalition was white. Look where it is now. It's 78%. The non-white portion of the Trump coalition, it was 13% in 2020. Look at this now. It's 19%. So the Trump coalition is becoming more diverse. And of course, those Sun Belt battleground states are more diverse than the Great Lake battleground states.
You're looking at the Nevadas and the Arizonas here.
Of course. If you look at Nevada, Arizona, heavy Hispanic population, Georgia, heavily African-American population. Michigan does have some black voters in it, but Pennsylvania and Wisconsin are heavily, heavily white.
That's very interesting. Okay, add it all up. What does this say about where the race stands right now? We're talking Electoral College and the race to 270.
Yeah, the race to 270. It's advantage Donald Trump, but he's not over the 270 mark just yet, all right? So if we flip Nevada, Arizona, and Georgia here in your lighter shades of pink, you add them to the states, and of course the 2nd congressional district up in Maine, which Donald Trump won last time around, that gets him to 268 electoral votes. If we keep Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania in the too close to call category, along with Nebraska's 2nd congressional district, Joe Biden at 225. So it's advantage Donald Trump, but Joe Biden does at this point have a path to 270.
Yeah, and right now, as you're pointing out, neither.
Yeah.
Neither there.
Neither there.
And we have a long road to it
Yes,
still.
we do.
All right. Okay, so check it out, fam. So this is something I've been pointing out. I've gone so far to say I think there's going to be a large amount of black voters who move towards Trump. And I didn't realize at the time how many were moving who were Hispanic. So just to make sure we understand what I'm talking about and what the presenter's talking about here on CNN. And this is based on the polling. And once again, if you don't believe the polls, I know there's some people that don't believe polls and they polls are a bunch of nonsense. Unless the polls say what they want them to say, then they say, okay. But until you get a better way of deciding, like kind of determining what are people thinking, we have to go with polls. And what other way do we do it? Just assume or guess? So it's not all in stone. And there's room for error with polls, okay? But what it's saying is that this is the New York Times, the Siena College, and the Philadelphia Inquirer revealed that Mr. Trump, the presumptive Republican nominee, is a hit amongst registered voters in 5 key states. This is a combined of 3 different polls, not just one. So that's one of the reasons why this poll was this reporting on this particular topic at this time is so significant, is because it's not just one poll we're talking about. Mr. Trump has double-digit leads in Georgia, Nevada, and he leads by as much as 7 points in Arizona. And where there are, and what's significant about it is, where there are populations of of non-white people, that's when Trump is gaining ground. So wow, it's like, okay, Tim Black, this doesn't make sense at all. If I was to tell you this back in 2020, you'd be like, what the hell? Some people are not getting how significant this is. This has not happened. And I don't know, gosh, not in my lifetime. I can't find a time in history where this has happened in the last 100 years. Maybe somebody knows it. I'm thinking back, Reagan, no, 80s. I didn't even know what politics was before 1980. So before 1980 or whatever, before like 88, before Clinton came, I didn't know anything about politics. Didn't pay attention when I was a kid. So what happened before then, I can't tell you as far as me living through it. But as I looked at it chronologically through media, through content, I cannot find any data that shows a similar situation. Now, so what I'm trying to tell you is Donald Trump, right now, this moment, there's a realignment happening with the Democratic and Republican parties. Voters are deciding to move towards MAGA or towards Trump for whatever reason. And here's my thing about it that I hope people will consider. Because I hear a lot of people that are paid to talk about Biden and support Biden or part of their jobs or part of their livelihoods. And I get all that, fam. You got a job to keep. You want to maintain your way of living. You don't want problems. Everybody's not up here to be a revolutionary. It's not everybody's job to be a rebel. Okay? So I get that. I understand it. I'm going to still criticize you, but at least I understand what you're doing. This is what you got to understand. When you're up here trying to say all of us who are calling attention to this are somehow being misled. What is Trump doing is so amazing that he's able to pull votes. Yeah, I would love to have this question answered by Roland Martin. I would love to have this question answered by, I don't know, who are some other notable figures in the center or the vote blue any-who's? Some of these people, please tell me Dr. Jason Johnson. Please tell me Bakari Sellers. Please inform me Angela Rye or all these people. What is he doing? He ain't doing anything. Trump is not having to do anything in order to pull these voters away from Biden. That's what's so scary about it. Most of the people that are deciding to go with Trump are just that fed up with the Democratic Party. They're so fed up with Biden that there was nothing that Trump has to do. That's what's so pathetic about it. It's just the sheer fact of inadequacy, ineffectiveness, horrible reaction to issues. What they're seeing in Biden, the lack of trust, the lack of effectiveness of the messaging, the lack of real life, actual progress being made, right? The only vulnerability that Trump has right now is abortion. You would think the court system would be a vulnerability. I'm trying to tell you that I believe that's part of the reason why Trump is doing well. In fact, everything that is moving Trump's numbers this way up, it's been induced by the Democrats thinking they had some great strategy at play. And this began back in 2016. The Democrats thought the best way to defeat Trump was to give him more publicity, that people would be so appalled. It was their miscalculation. They thought the more they showed Trump, the less people would like Trump. It was the opposite. The more people showed Hillary, the less they liked Hillary. That's what happened. It took 2020. It took 2020 for there to be an unprecedented amount of focus on negative content for Joe Biden to squeak out a win. They say Biden got more votes than any other president. A close second was Trump. And now, those people that voted for Biden regret their choice. That's something you won't hear reported much in mainstream media. The other point I want to make about this that I've been seeing, okay, you got the abortion issue. That is the only vulnerability for Trump right now. 64% of Americans, or voters, 64% of voters in battleground states say that the access to abortion should be legal or mostly legal. Okay? And 44% of Trump voters feel that way. So 65% of voters in those battleground states say, hey, Republicans went too far about abortion. It should be legal. And 44% of voters who are actually supporters of Trump. But guess what happened? They haven't left Trump over it. But if there is some light for Biden within this issue, but between the table, the way the table's set right now, the only light they have, the Democrats, is that abortion issue is on the table. That is all. That is it. That's all I could see. And my bad, the last point I wanted to make is I tried to go back and look for a time where economics was not the most important issue. Not the most. I can't find a time where economics was not the most crucial voting issue for voters. Not a single time. I'm up here at ChatGPT. I'm up here at Claude. I'm up here at Bing. I'm up here looking at Google. I'm up here DuckDuckGoing. I'm checking all the browsers. I'm looking for information. I'm searching through. Like, the only thing came close to it is like war. When there's an ongoing conflict, when there's a war going on, sometimes that trumps, I hate to use the word Trump, sometimes that takes priority over economics. But it's very close. It's very close, guys. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out the main issue with Biden is economy, inflation. And talking about all these other issues that they talk about, that they focus on, whether it be should LGBT trans people be able to wrestle men or women, or if I don't know, if just the fringe issues. You know what I'm saying? Some of the social justice stuff, though I support it, that's not why people are deciding their votes. And even people that agree that the cops are crazy and out of hand, even if you feel that way, when it comes down to it, those people are voting for their wallets. The majority of people are siding with economics because there's not enough change happening by either party. What I'm saying is, even if you go to the Democratic Party because you like their stance on Palestine, or as opposed to Trump's stance on Palestine. But at the end of the day, if you feel like either party, both parties are going to side with war anyway, then you end up going with your economic choice. You know what I'm saying? So even if there is an issue that is not about economics and it's important, the fact is there's little daylight between the Democrats and Republicans. The Democrats don't stand on anything. And what they stand on is just talk. It's not policy. It's not actually impacting your life. So the issues that matter most, what reigns supreme is dollar bill, and that's where people are moving to. Ask Hispanic voters, if they support migrants, why are they now breaking with Trump? We got Biden adopting Trump, more towards Trump policies about immigration. But we got Hispanics who are siding with Trump on it. We got black voters siding with Trump on it. Get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, there's an economic underpinning to that topic. I've been telling you guys, I've been hard on it. I've been saying it for a while. We as Black Americans, we're waking up more and more. It's not about parties. It's about us moving to what's in our economic best interest. Because all this conversation about who likes us more, who's got more clan members in their family, or ex-clan members in their family, who uses the N-word, or who uses it at a party, or who wore blackface in Hollywood in 1982. Like those issues, though they get a lot of ink, and the Democrats or the media likes to focus on them, at the end of the day, people know if they don't have a roof overhead, people realize if they can't afford to buy a carton of eggs, then there's a major problem. Doesn't matter what you say about me online if I can't afford to pay my cable bill. It doesn't matter if I can't afford to pay my internet bill. You know what I'm saying? So those economic issues tend to be the ones that win the day. And the Democratic Party just has not done enough. Once again, whether you agree with Trump or don't agree with him, this ain't about us. This is my shirt. I bought this shirt. Nobody sent it to me for free. I support Dr. Cornel West, but that doesn't mean I'm blinded by all this talk. At the end of the day, folks, I can't definitively find a time in recent history where economics was overshadowed by anything else. I don't care if it was during the riots or if it was the 64 riots. I can't find a time. Like even then, it was about economics. Unless it's 9/11, that's the only time. Under Bush was the only time, according to the data I've been crunching, that Americans were more concerned with war than they were about their economics. And that's because America had been attacked. So, because I've been hearing people say, Biden gonna take us to war to be able to try to save his election. Folks, unless we get attacked, that ain't gonna be enough. At least not based on historical data. Folks, Trump ain't doing nothing. He ain't campaigning. He in court. Why are Biden's numbers slipping? What's Trump doing? When was the last time these people went to a Trump rally? What's he doing? He done had a ball. He's on the bench. Biden has the ball. He still has the ball. He's had the ball this whole time. He's had the ball for 3.5 years. How is he losing ground? How is Trump scoring points when they're even in the game? And they want to make this about you and me. We're the reason why Biden's slipping. We're in the game. We're at home watching it on the stupid box. We're watching it on our phones. Right now, Trump ain't even campaigning. And he's still gaining ground and he's passed Biden. How'd that happen? At some point, the Democrats got to look at the Democrats and readjust. They don't want to do that. They refuse to do that. And why do they refuse to do that? That's the part I want to get to. That's where my next segment is going. And that's what I think people need to consider. Now, that's what I wanted to say. There we go. I feel good. That was a good soundbite. That was a very cohesive statement. I hope it makes sense. Let me know if you think it makes sense. How is Trump gaining and passing Biden? How is he passing Biden when it's Biden's game right now? That's the question. They want to make it about you being hoodwinked by Russians, by TikTokers, by China. You're being influenced by ghosts in your modem, in your G5, in your 5G, I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, all it's about is that Biden's dropped the ball. He's running in the wrong end zone. He's scoring in the opposition's basket. You know what I'm saying? Biden's shooting in the wrong basket. And instead of saying, hey, Joe, the basket's that way. Oh, come on, man. Oh, come on. Last time I was in basketball, I was playing basketball. We were shooting balls. And I said, oh, Joey, we got to shoot the basketball in the basketball. And the ball in hands. Put the ball in the thing. And got to get the thing in the ball. We got to do what we got to do. We got to understand that the ball's got to go on a shot. Joe, you're shooting in the wrong basket. I was passing the ball. The ball was dribbling the ball. Took the ball down the court, ran down the court, then did the thing. Ordered some pizzas. Got some pizza bites. Root beer floats. Then took the kids out for a little Sunday drive. Then we did this. Evil Kitty and Doom says Tim Black for president. Hell no. But I love you though. Look, I rock with you. That job is a thankless job. Give me that for Evil Kitty though, y'all. I love Evil Kitty. Abolish poverty, Joe. At least look, Grove. It would be something to run on. There you go. Give us something to vote for. That's something to vote against. But my next segment's going to get into that.